My friend, today was the drop, as it were. The Sean Ryan and Candace Owens summit, the high summit. And it was absolutely one of the most, dare I say, riveting pieces of informational art form you can imagine. It was absolutely incredible. And yet again, it showed you the complexity of what's going on. So I want to spend some time. It's up to you. You tell me how far you can do this, how far, because I want to talk about if you saw it, great. If you didn't, this might be an extremely short live version tonight. But in any event, I want to know specifically how it was for you. And there's one scene, one moment that I want to bring to your attention, which I think says it all. So sit back, my friends, get ready as we review and peruse and adumbrate and digest a much heralded, much awaited conversation today between Sean Ryan and Candace Owens. But now, first, especially as we go into these horrible, it's been 100 plus degrees here in New York City today. People are going crazy. And it makes you wonder, what would you do if you ever had to leave your home? What would you do if you just had to grab something and take off? Would you be prepared? Would you be ready to go? Probably not. Well, I've got a way to fix that. When disaster hits, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall back on what you already prepared. Wildfires, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, blackouts, EMP and grid attacks, riots, disaster. Get it? And when the warning comes, there's no time to search for flashlights or bottled water or first aid supplies while your family waits at the door. That's why My Patriot Supply created the fully stocked bug out bag. You've got to get this. It's a rugged, grab-and-go tactical backpack packed with 60 emergency essentials, including food, water, shelter, fire, starting tools, lighting, first aid, and more. Everything is already packed and ready right out of the box. Keep one in your car, your home, your RV, your office, your cabin, because the emergencies never make appointments. And right now, you can get $100 off plus free shipping for a limited time. So act now. There will be no special invitation in life. Disaster always comes unannounced. Get prepared now. Go to preparewithlionel.com. That's preparewithlionel.com and click the link today. Friends, I hope you saw this today. This is just such a great, great moment. I know we've been waiting for this, and those of us who are Candace heads, as it were, we're waiting for this moment. What did you think? What did you think? This is the most important thing, which I wanted to let you know. What was it? Tell me. What was it that you thought? And what was your take on it? Seriously, because that's the most important thing. And I know there's going to be a couple of people who say, they don't like her. Look, I know this. I know people don't understand it, and I got it. But it doesn't. How do we say this? We don't really care. Someone literally just finished the podcast and came here to figure out what to watch next. I thought it was important. I thought it was critical. I thought it was absolutely, positively, 100%. It was great. And there are people who just dislike Candace. This may be kind of a surprise to you. I don't dislike people. It's not that. It's the people. It's the thing. It's the people that can't tell me why. That's all. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? What is the point of this? Explain it. And what you'll never hear anybody who is a Candace detractor, they can't tell you why. They can't tell you why. They just say she's crazy, she's got a screw loose, she's demonic or whatever. And I've been asking, just tell me why. This is the thing which is the most important. And nobody can do it. And they can't. And I'm curious about this. Maybe those who are fans, why do you think she hits people the wrong way? There's something about her certitude that drives people nuts. There's something about her ability to speak so calmly and clearly and rationally that drives people crazy. There's something about that that makes people go berserk. And I don't know what that is or what the reason for that is. I can't explain it. There are people who love her, absolutely love her. And nobody can tell you why. And I mean it. It's not, how do I say this? There's so much there, and people are so, with all due respect, so inarticulate. They can't explain to you anything. It's all about liking, disliking, very, I don't know what the word is. Very, very mean girlish. I don't know. There's nothing rational about it. There's nothing about it that really points to, as far as I'm concerned, something that really speaks specifically what's going on. Some of your comments are so good. By the way, look at this. She has faith and love and joy in her life, and she's happy. People don't let you be all that and right, which is true. Absolutely. What's the reason? Why don't people like her? I find it fascinating. She's a smart woman, and she's a smart woman and black? I don't know what that means. What does this mean? What is the purpose of that? Why did Shawn not seem to know anything about everything? I don't know if he has a style. It's very laid back. It's very, he has a very slow kind of a take. He does really, he's very, it's his deal. It seems to work. He never gets in the way of the interview. He's very, very, very nondescript. It's his own particular style. I think if you're going to be on something, if you're going to be on a show, and if you want enough time to speak, that's the place to be. Absolutely. I want to show you this one moment. This is the only moment I'll show you. The only thing which I think was really good. Did the show air yet? Nothing gets past you, Penelope Pitstop. Nothing. It aired. It's on YouTube. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And you've seen a lot of clips and okay, fine. But the point is, it has, and you can see it. This is the one which I think said it all. And when you see people who are trying their best, how do I say this? When you see people who are trying to understand what grief looks like, sometimes they look at people like, for example, Erika, and they've said she doesn't seem to be acting the way I think most people would act in the event of, or in the case of actual grief, actual. And it makes people wonder sometimes, well, what does grief look like? What does real sadness look like? When can you tell it's real, and when can you tell it's not real? How does that work? And that's a fascinating topic. How do you know when something is or isn't being, how do I say this? It's not real. How can you tell when certain forms of, I guess you might say, certain forms of I guess, for lack of a better word, how certain forms of behaviors are not real. Let me just show you this. Much. And this will drive a lot of people crazy because it's probably one of the best moments. And it is so real and so sincere. And if you think this is in any way an act, you really don't know how real people act. This, I think, says it all. This is the most important part. And I want you to listen carefully.
Charlie just really, really, really wanted love, right? That was like it. And it was almost like poetic, the stuff that he was writing about how love could kind of make men move mountains. And so for me to have to mourn him and then have to consider that the thing that he wanted most, like, he didn't get, it just gutted me. It gutted me. And so, but I couldn't deny it anymore. I couldn't deny it. And it was beyond intuition. It was beyond her being weird. It was beyond her being at the office. And then I got the Zoom calls. My assumption was that she was grieving like I was. And my assumption, I didn't know she was in the office the next week. As soon as she got back, she just went straight to the office.
What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Thank you, CJ. Appreciate that. Appreciate it immensely. What do you think about that? How does that make sense? Did you have any doubt in your mind she was telling you the truth? Did you? Do you really, I mean, seriously, do you really feel, do you think in any way that she was kidding about that? Do you? Because it's very, very easy to just dismiss it. But you got to ask yourself, if you were a juror and you were looking at somebody and they were trying to, you were trying to assess the credibility of somebody, would you believe that? What did the other people say? Tell me what the people on the other side say. Tell me what the TPUSA folks say. What is it? What is their position? They don't like her. She's demonic. She's lying. She's a prevaricator, whatever. How much do you think that is even remotely possible? How much is that supposed to work? Seriously. I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to be cute. Where is there? Name one person who's ever made a really good position, just something. Somebody who said, Candace, you're wrong about this. You're wrong about something. This is very interesting too. I thought this is very interesting. Susan says, I appreciate Shawn not interrupting. I always enjoy his shows, but he just seemed so in the dark. I loved every word and emotion that Candace shared with him. It's almost like he didn't really know. You know what I mean? It's weird. It was like he was saying, well, let me read you. Candace Owens, podcaster. Do you know sometimes there are, if you interview, you know the expression, here's somebody who needs no introduction. You ever hear that expression? Here's somebody who needs no introduction. I think that would apply to her. I really do. I think that would apply to her. I don't think for you, what are you going to do? Who needs an introduction? Who would be actually listening to her and say, who is this? And what introduction could possibly explain any of it? What story? Well, she was born in Stamford, Connecticut. She then moved to what? Listen, I'm not in any way I'm not giving the guy a hard time. Let me tell you something. When you do an interview or whatever, sometimes it's hard. Everybody just has this thing where they will say you interrupted them too much. You didn't ask enough. You just let the person talk. Why didn't you talk about this? I've seen this. This is the part. This is so interesting about so much stuff about this, and I really mean it. I find it fascinating. And I also love the fact that nobody can really tell you anything. And again, I mean this sincerely. Nobody actually can tell you anything about it. And one of the things which is the most important is this is the biggest whodunit maybe in our lifetime. in many, many people's lifetimes, this is it. This is a very, 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 very important thing. You know, I've heard so much. I'll bet you that we probably have heard. I don't know about you, but I've heard so much of her. This is important. Somebody says, "Why are you telling the host to shut up? It's his podcast. You decided to join the show." Well, thank you. Who's telling me to shut up? There are people who just do it. And that's why, by the way, I just don't have, it's like, we don't need this. Can you imagine somebody who says, wait a minute, hold it. Honey, I'll be with you a minute. Why? I'm joining this show. They're talking about, I don't know, Caitlin Clark or something. And I want to tell somebody to shut up. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Okay. But let me tell you a couple of things that are happening. And this is the most important thing. First and foremost, this is important. There is a brand new political movement that used to be called conservatism. Now I'm not sure what it's called. I really don't know. I don't know what it's called. I really don't. I don't know if it's conservatism, if it's I don't know. But I do know, and this is important, that I've never heard such absolutely powerful thoughts regarding Israel like I've heard now. Ever. Rolf Meow Kitten says, my podcasters are ignorant. 2, let the person explain everything to a maybe ignorant audience so they get the full story from the interviewee's eyes. Well, yeah, that's very good. I just want to know something about maybe. Listen, whenever you talk to her, she's only been talking every single day of her life. There's a lot of it that we know. So there's no magical formula. I thought it was great. 4 hours and 44 minutes. Damn. Who else could do this? Who else could do it? Somebody says, no, the biggest whodunit is who killed JFK. Monica, in people's lives. This was in 1963. There are people who don't know. Saying Kennedy to them is like saying Lincoln. You have to understand how people think now. You can't say, no, that's not important. No, this is important to them. This is critical. This is important. This is absolutely the most important thing. I mean it sincerely. This is the most, I always have to tell you this. You always have to look at the way people see things, not the way you see it, not the way I see it, but the way they see it. And there are people who absolutely positively, this is the most important, they really were affected tremendously by his death. And it's one of those things where you either get it or you don't. And I think sometimes there are so many people who sometimes watch this who have felt nothing in their life. Maybe they felt somebody, oh, thank you. Hope Stephen Salty, hope you're well too, my friend. Thank you so much. There are people who've never felt this before. They don't understand what this means. Who's Charlie? Who's this? Who's murder? Who cares? They don't feel anything. They, honest to God, don't feel anything. And you can read the shallowness of this. Now, you want to talk about psychopath. I've always said before, and I was on with Christine Feckerty before, I don't think that Erika is a psychopath at all. I say some of the people who are not psychopaths, but people who lack any kind of heart is a lot of people who watch YouTube. A lot of the commentators, the people who just, they don't have, there's no emotional investment. They don't feel anything. They don't feel anything. And that's even more interesting. How can you look at this and say, who cares? Maybe it's habituation. Maybe you've seen too much of it. Maybe it's one of those things where you just figure, you know what? Now, there was some stuff which is going on, which I think is important. and this is critical. Do you know what's happening right now for the first time in Congress regarding MK Ultra and the like? Have you followed this? Have you followed this? Have you followed how important this is and how the mainstream media do not know what to do with it? Do you believe in mind control? Do you believe that there's been MK Ultra, that there has been menticide and brainwashing? Have you heard this? Do you? This is one of the biggest stories right now. And as we speak, there are more people who care about Taylor Swift getting married to what's his name at the Garden tonight. Did you know that? It's the most incredible thing in the world. This is the most important thing. We've not all been MK'd, by the way. I appreciate Penelope. I appreciate your grand discourse. We have not been all MK Ultra, not at all. I think the word is, how do I say this? The word's been used too much, almost like psychopath. MK Ultra is a different story. It's completely different. And we're not talking about somebody who has been maybe, how do I say this? People who've been habituated to something, or perhaps maybe affected by something by virtue of overstimulation. I'm talking about somebody who has been affected by drug introduction, who has been brainwashed. And this is so critical. And by the way, AI, in some respects, you haven't even fed the real, the AI, the real story about AI is going to be how it's going to be one of the biggest boondoggles ever. Ever. It's going to be one of the biggest cons. And I'm telling you, people who are saying that it's not, and people who are saying that cryptocurrency, by the way, is going to be a waste of time, are the same kind of people who are told you can never dispute the notion of Darwin. There's a whole other world out there right now. What do you think is going to happen in midterms? What do you think, JD Vance? What's going to happen? What's going to be the case if AIPAC comes around and says, "Now listen, we want you to continue this. We will continue funding and contributing greatly to those people who pursue an Israeli agenda." How do you think that's going to work? How do you think that is going to work? Do you think anybody's going to do this? This morning I was explaining that, how do we say this? There was a case of a woman, she was a congresswoman in Denver. She'd been there forever. She's been there for so long, she actually voted against the Iraq war, which is okay. So she was a prototypical lefty kind of a type. And she was just turned out from her office. And what's the most interesting of all of this stuff is that she was absolutely 100% sold on AIPAC. Now, there was a woman who came along with a foreign sounding name, the prototypical kind of a Zoran Mamdani type. And she was absolutely filled with accusations of genocide and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When she was confronted, she said, "Listen, if you don't like what I'm doing, then don't vote for me." They got rid of her, but it was a drubbing. Do you understand what I'm saying? It was a drubbing, okay? You understand this? How have we been programmed to a point, Hillbilly? When have you been programmed? Who programmed you? That's not MK Ultra. MK Ultra is not programming you. It's brainwashing you. It's affecting you, either making you become mentally ill, appear mentally ill. It was dangerous. It wasn't just affecting you or programming. MK Ultra is as serious as you can get. It's not. You have not been you have not been exposed to MK Ultra. You have not been. Ever. It's one of these words that we use so much, like psychopath. And by the way, what does MK mean? Let me save your time. It's not mind control. It is a prefix used by the CIA, which means a certain form. It's a prefix that does not have anything to do with mind control per se. It's an internal CIA prefix. How have you been conditioned in your life? How? Tell me. How have you been conditioned? How have you been conditioned? Not that you've recognized other people. How have you been conditioned? If you are conditioned yourself, you wouldn't know it. So tell me. This is the part. This is the part I think which is interesting. You see, a lot of people, it's kind of like, how do I say this? It's kind of like a circuitous gibberish that we talk about. We don't really know what, you kind of know what it is, but not really. Nobody's really gotten into it. Nobody's looked deep into it. You kind of know a little bit about it. You are not the subject of MK Ultra. Do you understand this? This is the part which is the most important thing. This is so important. And by the way, I got to tell you something. This is critical. What's also critical right now is coming up, and I mean this sincerely. Coming up more than anything else is going to be something which I think is more important. You are going to see Tucker Carlson change everything. You're going to see people who never entered politics before, and most people still don't really get it. So let me just say something. Let me just leave it at this. And I mean this. This is going to be something which I think we all can kind of get out of. I don't know if I can't necessarily explain this to you, but I can tell you what it is not. This was a very interesting story. I think you should watch SHAWN. You should always absolutely, seriously understand this. By the way, propaganda did not become legal under Obama. That is another thing too, which I did some research on that, and that's really not true. It's sort of we live in a bumper sticker world, and we live in a world where we say things sometimes because we hear them on a regular basis. We hear things being said and repeated on a regular basis that are not really true. You know what I'm trying to tell you? They're not really true. We sort of understand it, but not really, okay? And this is the most important thing in the world, and I appreciate it, okay? Now, what I want you to do is, I want you to do me a favor and have a wonderful night, my friends. You can spend some time reading this. I'm going to also peruse this. This has been a very, very taxing and a very long day. It was over 100 degrees today. Let me tell you, listen very carefully. Listen carefully to what's going on. Pay attention. And also, I want you to understand, very, very important, please focus really, thank you so much for that. Thank you. Pay very focused attention on what you believe and why you believe it. That's all. In any event, my friends, have a great and a glorious day. I love you. It's been terrific. It's been a rough day. It's been a very hot and a very tragic day. We'll see you later. Don't forget, stay tuned, stay a part of this. And whatever you do, I beg you, my friends, to always keep subscribed. Make sure you pay attention. And whatever you do, please always keep asking questions and don't necessarily believe anything anybody's told you, up to and including me. I'm not telling you anything. I'm making you think about stuff. All right, my friends, have a great day. Don't forget, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Dad.